People are afraid of failure, so they're afraid to chase their dreams. That is true. I'm afraid of being broke. I'm tired of being afraid of failure. I'm afraid of being broke. So I'm gonna go ahead and chase my purpose. You have to make What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya, and this episode is called Planning for Peace. So if you a real one and you've been rocking with me, you know that this year, 2023, is all about focus, right? And so for the months of January through March, we're talking about planning. If you want a successful life, if you want a happy life, if you want to focus on your goals, your dreams, and your visions, you have to have a plan, right? And so last week we just spoke about the importance of planning. But this year, not this year, I'm rushing. This episode, y'all, we are talking about how to plan for peace. All of us want a peaceful life. We want this life that is stress-free, where we are managing all of our roles and responsibilities well, where we are coming in and out of transitions well and at peace. And so I feel like if you want a peaceful life, that is something that you have to plan for. So today we're going to break down what peace is, how you get it, how you maintain it, what it is not. And I'm also making you hold yourself accountable for your peace. So if this is your peace, it has to be your mission and your job and all of your efforts to make it happen. Boom, let's get to it. So y'all know I love a definition. So if I'm talking to you all about peace, if you're planning to have a peaceful life or peaceful parts of your life, you first need to know what peace is, right? So the definition for peace, I have two. I'm going to break them things down and then we're going to make it do what it do. So, peace, by definition, is freedom from disturbance or tranquility. That's the first one. Freedom from disturbance or tranquility. And then the second definition is a state or period in which there is no war or when war has ended. So let's break this down. So some of y'all don't know what it means to be tranquil. That was a big word. You might have choked on it. Let me tell you what it means. So the first definition for peace is freedom from disturbance or tranquility. So the word disturbance first, because if you're being disturbed, you need to know what that means. So to be disturbed is not an introduction. Child, I've been at the workhouse with these kids all day. The word disturbance, which is a part of peace, is freedom from disturbance. Disturbance is an interruption of a settled condition, right? Interruption from a settled condition. So if something is disturbing your peace, you were once settled, but now that's being disturbed, okay? And then the second part of that first definition was the word tranquil or tranquility. And the word tranquility literally means to be calm, okay? So if you want peace, you want freedom from distractions, freedom from disturbances, and you want to be calm, right? And then the second definition of peace is a state or a period where there is no war or where war has ended. So when I think about this, if you want to establish peace, if you want to operate in peace, you first need to understand where the disturbance is. You first need to understand where the chaos exists in your life. You first need to recognize that you are living in a space that is not peaceful. Sometimes when we are in a constant state of chaos, of motion, of disturbance, we don't even realize that we are not at peace. It's not until you slow down and then you start to recognize all of the chaos, all of the war that's going on around you or inside of you. Because when we're talking about peace, I'm not just talking about quietness and calm around you. You need to have a calm mind, a calm body, a calm spirit. Okay? So all of those things need to be free of disturbance. All of those things you need to find a place of tranquility within all of those. And so the first step into planning for peace, I said that you need to name what it is that's interrupting your tranquility. Okay, so you need to step outside of the chaos that exists. You need to step outside of the thoughts in your head that are always moving, that are not keeping you calm. If you want a peaceful life, if you want a peaceful work environment, if you want peaceful relationships, peaceful friendships, if you want a peaceful home, you first need to realize what is interrupting that tranquility. What is it that's not making you calm? For example, let's just say you want peace in a relationship. And you all are constantly fighting or bumping heads about the same thing. In order to establish that peace, you first need to get to the root of what it is that's causing a disturbance. Because if you're not aware of what you're trying to get to, so if you're not aware that this is what we're trying to solve, you're never going to get there. Chaos exists when two people aren't being clear about what it is that they're trying to get to, because their sense of peace or their sense of calm or where they feel most tranquil may not match up with yours. Okay? This can also be true for a work environment. If you want peace in a workplace, you have to figure out what it is about that workspace that is making you disturbed, that is making you feel like you're at war with your boss, with your coworkers, with whoever it is that you're interacting with. So the first step in planning for peace is to name what it is that's interrupting your tranquility, or who. Or who. Right? Because we associate time with automatic loyalty, when in all actuality, just because someone is around for a long time does not mean that they bring you peace. They could have been bringing you chaos for all of the 10 years that you were with them. This job is bringing you income, but it's not bringing you peace the 25 years you've been working there and all you got was a certificate. So establish what or who it is that you're at war with that's bringing you disturbance. And sometimes you might not want to name that. You might not want to say, this has been the job that has provided me with all of these benefits, but you hate waking up to go there every day. That's war. Is it raging or waging? You're waging war with your own mind, with your own sanity, by just being loyal to something that doesn't serve you. That's not where you find peace. Just because you've been with this person for so long, this has been the extent of our relationship. Maybe you need to change the way that dynamic works. And I'm not saying cut everybody off. I'm just saying change how you deal with them. Change what you allow them to bring into your space. You got to be able to name it and not be afraid to name it. So a large part of what I've realized in my journey to finding peace is I had to stop considering everyone else. Because my peace is my peace. Some people don't give a damn if you at peace, as long as you are serving them. That job that you hate, they don't give a fuck if you are peaceful, as long as you're doing the job that they called you to do. This relationship, as long as you showing up for them how they need you to be, they don't care about you being peaceful. Peaceful has to be your purpose. You have to be peaceful up to your standards, because the outside world, as long as they getting what you got to give, they don't care. They gonna pretend like it. That's why you got your certificate after working for that company for 25 years. I'm gonna pretend like I really care, but I don't. Because the only reason they're gonna care is if you stop doing what it is that's been serving them. So you have to be able to name what it is that's disturbing you, and name it boldly. Name it and don't be afraid of how it's gonna affect other people. This is no longer serving me. I gotta name it. This job is no longer serving me. I gotta leave it. This relationship is no longer working for me. I gotta go. Me being depressed and anxious all the time is not suiting me. I'm at war with my own mind. I gotta change something. You need to be able to name what it is that you need to do to get your peace. Because without peace, you won't find pleasure. And if you're not finding pleasure, then you're not really being fulfilled here. So you gotta take your own joy, your own comfort, your own mental health, your own spiritual health, your own pleasure and enjoyment just for life itself into consideration. If you're planning for peace, you got to be intentional. You got to be aware that some of the shit that you love the most, some of the people that you love the most, that you were loyal to, that you gave your all to, you got to realize that the reason that you are not at peace, the reason that you are at war with yourself, at war with them, at war with this job, at war with your mental space, is because you are allowing everything that doesn't serve you, you're allowing them to continue to have a seat at the table. Okay? So now, the next part of this, and y'all gonna be a little upset because I'm about to get up in y'all business. So I'm gonna do this before I tell y'all. So, once you've decided what it is or who it is that is disturbing your tranquility, that is making you feel unsettled, that is causing you to be at war with yourself or any outside entity, you need to figure out why or how did you allow them in. Sometimes taking self-accountability hurts. You don't want me to tell you that after a while, boo-boo, it's your fault that you're not at peace. Nobody wants to constantly hear you complain. There's a difference between somebody who is letting you vent. That's cool. But after a while, your people should be telling you or asking you, what is it that we are going to change? What role did you play in your own suffering? I did an episode called Addicted to Pain, so make sure you go and listen to that. But sometimes we get so stuck in this loop of the chaos, in this loop of being displeasure. Sometimes we get so used to being upset, disappointed, and sad that we forget that we have autonomy over our lives, over the people that we have in our lives, over the relationships that we entertain. And so you need to figure out, in the midst of figuring out what's causing you this disturbance to your tranquility, how did you take child, what was I saying? You need to figure out how you've allowed this. What did you do to make these people feel comfortable with making you not be at peace with yourself? What have you done? What have you allowed to make this job really think that you like being there, but you don't? What have you done? Are you just sitting in your anxiety? Are you just sitting in your depression? Are you just sitting in the fact that you broke? Because complaining isn't going to do anything. You have to realize and flip a switch in your mind that you need to do something. That's why we're planning. You have to plan for the peace that you want. The next thing that I wanted to mention is, what parts of you are you at war with? So now I'm speaking to when you are not, let me move my mic because they aren't going to be able to hear me. And now I'm speaking to the parts of you internally that you're not at peace with. So I said, what parts of you are you at war with? Are you jealous? Are you a jealous friend? Are you just not happy with the type of work that you're doing? Excuse me. What are the character traits in yourself? What are your own character flaws? What parts of you are you at war with? Are you at war with your mind? What parts of your mind? What are you allowing yourself to think? What are you allowing yourself to become comfortable with that is not serving you? Why are you so anxious? What are you worried about? Because a lot of times I've noticed that my anxiety comes when there's a million things I know that I should be doing, but I'm not. So I allow myself to sit in that. And in order to get peace, I need to fulfill my purpose. Wow. Sometimes when we're at war with ourselves, when we're at war with our minds, we have to let ourselves know that in order to get to peace, you sometimes have to walk in your purpose. Matter of fact, I think that's all the time. You need to be unafraid to walk in your purpose, but because you're so anxious, you're so depressed, you're so sad, you're so unfulfilled because you're not doing the things that you know that you're capable of. You know how brilliant you are. You know how talented you are. You know how connected you are. You know all these visions and these thoughts that are constantly coming to you. You're not doing anything about them. That's where your anxiety is coming from. That's where that war inside of your mind is coming from. So you have to allow yourself to realize, like, yo, this is why I feel this way. I got to do something differently. Until you're walking in your purpose, until you're actively taking the steps to fulfill your purpose, that's why you're at war with yourself. Because you know you deserve better. You're so upset. You're so sad. You're so depressed because even with having kids, even with not having the bank account that you want right now, you still know what you're capable of. You still have visions of you at your best self. And you're not going after it. So if you wanna win the war with your mind, you first have to let yourself know that until I walk in my purpose, until I do what I'm called to do, until I tap into that thing that keeps me up at night, I'm always gonna be anxious. Because anxiety comes from being afraid of what is unknown. You don't know what's gonna happen when you go for it, but you know what's gonna happen when you get it. So don't let the fear of the process keep you from going to that peaceful place of purpose. I'm not going to make more money until I make more money. I'm not going to have a better job until I go get a better job. I'm not going to have a better relationship with friends and family until I have a better relationship with friends and family. Take accountability. Give yourself permission. Muster up the courage to do what it is that you need to do, to have the conversations you need to have, to walk away from the things that you need to walk away from in your purpose. Because we've talked already about purpose. And my next episode is actually called Planning for Purpose. So I'm glad that I mentioned that. But you have to recognize that one is you. This is your life. This is your journey. As long as you're serving other people, they don't care about how much you're serving yourself. Right? Figure it out. Do the work. Walk in your purpose. You won't be at peace until you've walked in your purpose. Your peace lies in the same place as your purpose. They like cousins, if you ask me. Period. And I also, when I talk about what parts of yourself are you at war with, I'm talking about your mind, I'm talking about your body, I'm talking about your spirit. Do you have an ego that you need to check? Do you have too much pride that you need to check, right? We can talk about deadly sins, right? Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, but what is it really? Are you at war with your body? Are you out of shape, but you're not deciding to change your diet or go work out? You know what I mean? Are you just feeling unhealthy? Are you not as active as you want to be, but you just sitting on your couch eating chips and dip? Your ego, do you feel like you're at war with everybody because you feel like every friend that you have, every relationship that you're in, you have to own them? Do you feel entitled to other people's time? That's your ego. So really get clear. And I'm not just saying like, oh, I'm not happy with my hair. That's a part of me that I'm not at peace with. No, you're not at peace with the fact that you don't own people. You're not at peace with the fact that just because this person is your friend, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your boss, your best friend, you don't own their time. So you have to really realize that there are parts of you that you're at war with that you're afraid to address. The dark parts of you that you're at war with. Is the little girl in you still struggling to maintain relationships or to build trust? That's a part of you that you're at war with. You're not going to find peace if you haven't addressed the little baby parts of you that never got the clarity that they need. My friend Kavi, and I hope she's still on here, this always comes to me. She says, words left unsaid are left screaming in your head. There's some things that you need to let some people know, but you're afraid to because of the nature of your relationship or what you've allowed for so long, you're now afraid to address. Your inability to communicate is a part of you that you're at war with that you didn't even realize. Okay? And then I said, once you have, what parts of your work are you at war with? What parts of your friendship are you at war with? Right when we talk about work, what parts of the job do you hate? You get up and go to a job every day. You complain about the people. You complain about what's going on. What parts of that don't serve you so that now when you're walking in your purpose, when you're walking to find a line of work or a career change that best suits you, are you clear about what that looks like? Because if you're just going to the next available opportunity, that's not you searching for peace. You're not planning for peace. You're planning for a paycheck. Cool. We all need that financial sustainability. But if you really want peace in the workplace, you got to be intentional in planning for what that looks like. Because it's just going to be bouncing from one place to another. If you haven't sat down and decided this worked for me at this job, this did not. This salary was sustainable, but this was not. Until you're very clear about what it is that you're planning for, until you're very clear about what's not bringing you peace, then you're not going to be able to find the peace because you don't know the purpose for your journey and finding it. Another thing I said is, what parts of your friendships are you at war with? What parts of your friendships are changing? What parts of you do you need to address in that friendship? Like, what is it that friendship looks like for you at this different phase in your life? You can't be afraid of losing everybody, but be okay with losing you. Sometimes things just don't work. I'll say that again. You can't get so comfortable with losing. You can't be so afraid of losing everybody but yourself. You need to be more afraid than losing you than losing anything and anybody. I don't know if y'all have ever lost your mind before, but that's not something, like, I'm not compromising my mind for anything, anybody, any job, any relationship. I'm not compromising my body for anyone, anything, any job, any relationship. Get clear. What is it that you're allowing to disturb your tranquility? Why is it that you're not calm? What is it that you're accepting that's taken away from your tranquility, that's taken away from your peace? Right? Next thing is, when we're thinking about planning for peace. So now I'm thinking tangibles, things that we are doing, that we are writing. And so I said, name the issues. So even if you're just journaling, even if your journaling needs out, and that's what I actually want you all to do, is have this tangible so that you can see it. What are the issues that you're facing? What is it that you don't like? Why is it that you're stressed out? Write it down. Name why they don't work for you. So it's not enough to say, I'm not feeling this friendship anymore. Why? So that when you go seeking friendship again, when you go seeking relationship again, you know exactly what it is that you're looking for, And you're also recognizing what it is that you won't be allowing. So write that down. And then once you've established what the issues are, what it is that's not bringing you peace, what it is that's disturbing your tranquility, once you've decided why these things stress you out. So you have to know you. So before you go through this process of planning for peace, you have to first know who you are. Because not only are you naming the outside issues, but a large part of not being at peace is being at war within yourself. So what is it and why do these things bother you? Why do these things not work for you? Address those. That might take a minute for you to figure out, because even me sitting here saying it, I can't even think off the top of my head. Like, I would really have to sit down and do the work to figure out why certain things don't work for me. Because a lot of times, some things don't work for you because you've outgrown them. And you've limited your thinking, so now you haven't allowed yourself to believe that you've outgrown certain things because you've become loyal to the time. You've become loyal to the pattern. You've become loyal to the feeling. You've become loyal to the temptation. So now you've convinced yourself that you can't move outside of that, but now there's a deeper issue that you need to address. Figure out what that is, right? While I figure out if I'm going to finish this. Once you've done that work, once you figured out the issue and why they don't serve you, now you need to create the big B. I've been saying it back and forth since I started this podcast. Boundaries. Once I've addressed the parts of me that don't like this, once I've addressed the parts of me that won't accept this other thing, now I can create boundaries. Now I can tell you that I am not going to deal with this type of work environment because I know that according to my resume, according to my connections, according to the work that I've done and the quality that I've produced, I am above this. It is okay to say that you are superior. Don't get stuck being limited. We all start at the bottom. You don't got to stay there, though. So a boundary is saying that, no, I won't even entertain that salary. Because I know that the type and the quality of work that I do exceeds that. Stop playing with me. Right? I know that I can no longer exist in these spaces. Don't invite me to the club. I ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? And be okay with that. Get so good with you that you're not afraid to dismiss and set boundaries. I'm a teacher. After 7 p.m., nobody's parent is getting a text back. I'm sorry. Because I'm not Miss Friend no more. My name's Toya. You know what I mean? Establish boundaries. This doesn't work for me. I don't answer work emails after 7 p.m. Sorry. Establish boundaries. Because now I'm in my pocket of peace. And I was just talking with a friend and I said that once we create boundaries, we have to understand that the whole world is chaos. You feel me? The world is chaos. We see it on the internet. You walk outside your door, you see it. We can't control all of the chaos that exists. That's why it's up to you to find pockets of peace. You have to find pockets of peace in the chaos, because you can't control the chaos that's going on, but you need to be able to have some type of control, some type of autonomy over the parts of you that are peaceful. You're never going to eliminate chaos. And let me be very clear in naming that for this episode. I'm not saying that you are going to eliminate chaos, but what I'm saying is you are planning your pockets of peace in the midst of the chaos. You are planning for the parts of your day, the parts of your life where you can control peace. Like, ayo, this not happening here. Planning for peace also means that I run into something unexpected. We're not eliminating the chaos that exists in the world. Because that's a part of the yin and the yang, the balance of just how things go. Sometimes life is up, sometimes things are down. You can't determine if you're going to get in a car accident. You can't determine if you're going to get laid off a job. But you need to be able to establish these habits and these pockets of peace. Whereas when I'm stressed out, this is what I'm going to go do. If I'm stressed out, let me run to the gym for about 30 minutes to an hour just to clear my mind. If I'm stressed out, let me write. Let me just brain dump for a minute to figure out myself. When my kids acting crazy, let me go get this glass of wine or liquor. Whatever your choice is. But establish your pockets of peace and make sure that they are intentional to you. You know what I mean? Whereas one person's pocket of peace might be the gym. Baby, I'm just getting started. That might stress me out even more. I know that my pocket of peace is me watching the show and just chilling on the couch. Just give me 30 minutes. Right? I know that in teaching, when I find some chaos, get your computer out, be quiet, put your headphones on, give me 20. Give me 20. You have to, in every aspect and avenue of your life, establish pockets of peace so that you can get through. You're never going to make it through if you think or if you have this idea that chaos doesn't exist, that things will always go as planned. No. That's why you need to plan for your peace, because you can't control the ways of the world. And you're going to stress yourself out even more thinking you can. Baby, you ain't Jesus. I know we say be more like Jesus every day, but baby, I ain't him. And I'm in the same chaotic environment and situations as y'all. So make sure you figure out what your pockets of peace are and what they look like. I also said, in order to prioritize peace, so you've made peace a priority. Now it's important to understand that you can't really prioritize peace until you've acknowledged the chaos that exists. Okay? And acknowledging the chaos that exists kind of prepares you for the parts of your day when you need peace. For example, some ways that I am attempting to plan for peace is to establish your own routines. If you're doing the same thing in the morning, you're starting your day off peaceful. If you're ending your day the same day every night, you're ending with peace. If you have the same routines for the week, that's peace. We establish peace when we're understanding calming routines, when we're understanding routines that calm us down and slow us down and are pleasurable and bring us joy. Okay? And so what I'm going to leave you all with is just some examples of things that I would love you all to do, what I would love you all to plan out and write these things down and be intentional and look at them and actually follow through. I struggle, and I'm going to tell y'all my business, I definitely struggle with keeping up with routines and establishing habits. Because, baby, I'll make a plan, but my follow through be a little off, right? So here's some examples of some things that you all can be doing until I talk to y'all next week about planning for peace. So first, I would say figure out what your morning and nights need to look like. So no matter what happens throughout the day, you know that this part will be peaceful. No matter how chaotic shit got on the outside, you know that when I get home at the end of the night, I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to do my little face routine. You know what I'm saying? I might have a glass of wine. I might eat something good and healthy. I might eat some fruit. Establish some routines that feel good to you. Schedules, and especially for people with like big families or kids, establishing schedules for the week are important. What parts of your day do you have maybe a 15 pocket without the kids, without your man, without your girl, without your boo, all up in your face? What time do you have to yourself? Even if it's 5 minutes to just breathe in deeply and quietly. Find your pockets of peace. Self-care is so important, and it looks different from everybody. Self-care isn't just sitting in the bathtub with a glass of wine and some music, but establish what that looks like for you. Is your self-care getting your nails done? Is your self-care going for a walk every day? Is your self-care taking 10, 15 minutes to call up a friend and just tell them and vent to them about your day? Whatever that looks like for you, make sure you do it. How often are you going to do it? Make yourself a priority and that you always give yourself time. I don't care if it's 5 minutes or an entire day or a whole 5-day vacation. Prioritize your own self-care and for what that looks like for you. Another way that we can plan for peace that I want you all to do is figure out what conversations, situations, and environments that you will no longer be a part of. Don't be afraid to say no to things that you want to. So I had gotten to a habit of doing shit that I didn't want to do just because I had already maybe told somebody I would come to this or I would do that, but I get in the moment, life happened, the chaos was chaosing, and now I don't feel up to it. Baby, you ain't got to do nothing. And those who know you, those who love you, now communicate, right? I'm not just saying like ghost people or don't show up to things. Communicate that you won't be there, but figure out what types of things no longer serve you. I am realizing that the club no longer serves me. It just doesn't. So I'm no longer forcing myself to be in that environment. I'm realizing that toxic ass relationships of any kind don't serve me. So I'm not even going to deal with it. You know what I mean? And then sometimes we can limit these things, because I know in some situations you can't just cut everything off. You can't not be in spaces for whatever reason. But you need to have limits. You need to have boundaries to what it is that you're doing, what you're entertaining. And then the last thing, and this is for like my people who are workaholics. I know we in this hustle culture and everybody telling you gotta be doing this, you gotta be saying this, you gotta show up to this, you can't be asleep for 8 hours. Baby, I'm gonna get my sleep. Don't even play with me like that. Don't tell me not to go to sleep, because I'm gonna go to sleep while you're telling me not to go to sleep. So the last thing I would say is don't take work home. If you can. Leave work at work. Or have a cutoff time for work. After this time, I'm not working. After this time, I'm not answering that work phone. After this time, don't call me by my last name, because I'm not responding. So those are the things, some things that you can do to establish peaceful routines that you can plan for peace. And give yourself grace. Give yourself permission. We get so caught up in chaos. We get so caught up in moving quickly and being there for everybody and doing everything to make everybody comfortable. But it's okay to choose you. Give yourself grace while you're figuring out how to even do that. The first step to loving yourself is letting yourself know that you need to. The first step for planning for peace is realizing that you need to. So start with your thoughts. Your thoughts turn into actions. Your actions turn into habits. And your habits turn into the success of the things that you want. So give yourselves grace. Give yourselves peace. Give yourselves the joy that you deserve. If you don't like it, don't do it. We too old to be going off of peer pressure, baby. So don't be afraid to tell somebody no. Don't be afraid. Oh, you need to. I don't need to. I don't need to nothing. Okay? I love y'all. Thank you all for joining me right here on Universal Teas. Again, this episode is called Planning for Peace. And next week, baby, we are planning for purpose. So I will see y'all. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel on all streaming platforms, go and find Universal Teas TV on YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, and share your favorite episode. And I will see y'all next time. Bye. All right, y'all. We done. Share this video. I will see y'all next week. We talk about planning for purpose. So make sure you go and write down what you need to do to plan for peace. Next week, we planning for purpose. What is your purpose? How are you planning for it? I love y'all too. It's called me time, period. People are afraid of failure, so they're afraid to chase their dreams. That is true. I'm afraid of being broke. I'm tired of being afraid of failure. I'm afraid of being broke. So I'm going to go ahead and chase my purpose. You have to make time. You have to make it happen. If the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. Sometimes you have to step outside your comfort zone. I know that's right, mama. But yeah, I love y'all. I will see y'all next week. Next week, we're planning for purpose, on purpose. And that's just that on that. I love y'all.